Welcome back, everybody, to Mark Anthony's Music Picks. Today is episode 98, and as the title suggests, winter is coming. I got my hat, and because it's starting to get cold out and it's starting to get dark earlier, I'm getting back into dub techno. So I've been on a dub techno binge for the last 3 days straight. Just at 4:30 it gets dark, and I'm going up to my music room, and I'm just going at it for the next 4 or 5 hours straight. So I've been having a great time this week, and I also realized that I have a lot of dub techno lovers in my subscriber base. I haven't done a dub techno video in probably 2 or 3 months, so I got to scratch that itch for everybody. So I've got some titles for you that I think are just absolute fire, and I hope you guys enjoy these. The first one is a score that I made back in the summer. Sushi Tech, I don't know if you guys noticed, if you follow Sushi Tech on Juno, they have been kind of sneaking in restocks. I don't know if they're actually official represses in some of these cases, but the Thor Consequences triple pack just suddenly appeared on Juno, and it has the, I would say, underground cult favorite, Aliens Don't Boogie. Now, there's a Discogs user, Occidental, that is all about that track. You can go and read his review. His review sold me on this record alone, and I was ready to buy it blind. As soon as I saw it, I grabbed it. But in all honesty, I love Aliens Don't Boogie, but the track that really got to me on here is the B2. It's called Good Day. Good Day is just absolute Sushi Tech filth. I've said this a few times. Sushi Tech kind of is what I am as a DJ. Like those 8, 9, 10-minute tracks, it just sort of touches on dub techno sometimes. It's loopy, it's grimy. It's just got that nice sway factor to it. No build-ups or breakdowns usually, or if they are, they're kind of sparse and understated. It's designed for opening DJs, and that's me. I'm an opener. And the track Good Day, man, this track is seriously bottom heavy. I think you could categorize it as dub techno. It has a dub techno-ish vocal kind of sprinkled in the background, and very bottom heavy. The bass line in this is absolutely nuts, and if you have the MP3 or if you listen to the record, you'll notice about 2 minutes and 30 seconds into it, you go into a breakdown, and when it comes out of that and that bass line starts hitting again, it's just absolutely undeniable. So check this out. This is a compilation from Thor that has all types of just tight club-oriented dub techno, borderline techno tracks that you guys will really enjoy. Next up, I made a huge score. From the Echo Space catalog at this point, I have, probably 20 or 30 of those because I'm super into the Echo Space sound. But there were a couple gaps that I was never able to fill until recently, and this is one of them. This is the somewhat elusive Dimensional Space triple pack that came out on Echo Space in 2014. Now, I was asleep at the wheel when this came out. I don't know if I balked because of the price or if I didn't like the samples initially, so I let it pass, and there were none to be had after that, and the price just went higher and higher. I did see one that listed recently for a reasonable price, and I jumped all over it, and I'm thankful that I was able to get a kind of a top-end VG Plus copy of it. My track on here is the Beyond Starlit Skies. It's this is cv313, but Even though cv313 is defined as Rod Modell and Stephen Hitchell, I'm like 95% sure that Rod had nothing to do with this. I think Rod left cv313 around 2012, 2013, off the top of my head, when the Sommer album came out and he did his own solo CD. I think that's when they diverged. And to me, this sounds like Stephen. And I just love, this is like Steven at his best. In Beyond Starlit Skies, Steven's always beyond. Echo Space is always beyond something, right? With their with their song titles. And Beyond Starlit Skies, it's got that rapid, trickly sound in it. It's got the tape hiss, and it's got that long duration with a steady thump that accomplishes what I hope every time I listen to an Echo Space record, which is to be hypnotized by it. And who knows how long it is, 13, 15 minutes, I don't know. But by the time the track's over, you're just in a completely different state than when you started, and that's what it's all about. Here's an interesting dub techno track for you, if you even want to call it dub techno. I'm actually going to call this dub house. This is by Ecologist. Ecologist is an alias for Brendan Mahler. Brendan Mahler makes some of the most interesting dub techno or dub related tracks, in my opinion. Dub techno as a genre can be formulaic and it can be super boring. A lot of the stuff that I listen to on Bandcamp and some of the labels that are putting out vinyl, it's like, man, that's super boring. And it's not even, I guess it's relaxing, but because it's so boring, it almost becomes frustrating to listen to. Brendan's the opposite of that. Brendan is just on his own wavelength when it comes to any dub-related tracks. He's always got grimy bass lines. He can go like super chill, or he can do club-oriented tracks. I've even got a couple of ambient Brendan Mahler records. He did one on Silent Season that I gravitated towards. And here as Ecologist, he did what I would call dub house. I like this track because if you're playing a dub techno set, and I played a dub techno set for Gradu by request for his SoundCloud channel, and I'll put a link down below in the description if you want to check that out. I placed this record in the middle of that set specifically because it has a different vibe, and I wanted the set to have feel like it was dynamic and changing, and not just be like this stomp fest all the way through. Like you can play straight club dub techno tracks straight through and kind of be cool but kind of be boring at the same time. This is a vibe switch. It's got jazz and house elements in it, and a dub bass line that's like as true as a dub bass line can be. And it even though the dub bass line hits low, a lot of the other frequencies are above the waistline. They're up kind of high. So even though it's anchored heavily with the bass line, the top kind of gives it this breezy outdoor daytime house feel, and that's really why I enjoy this record. Here's a stormer for you. This record is an absolute effing monster. I love this. I don't know who this guy is. Waage. It's on the label Thule, which is known for dub techno and club-oriented dub techno tracks. I think Thor might even be on Thule. I'll have to go and look at that. But this is a label to definitely check through. This label is no joke here. Waage, I'll call it Waage for now, dropped this as their first EP. It's just called W. And more or less, it's a 4-track borderline DJ tool that's centered around a dub techno sound. My pick in here, the one that I like to play the most, is W1. It's just got this grindy, it's got one element. It's got that one element that sells you. If you were sampling it and you heard it, you just be like, "Oh, that's dirty," right? It can just kind of get you right away. Like you sample it for 5 seconds, you're like, "Sold, I'm buying that." So it loops, I don't know, 7-8 minutes, and it's just absolute filth. I could just sit there and listen to that loop. Maybe it has some subtle changes in it that keep your brain from getting totally bored, but it's awesome. And the other 3 tracks on here are really, honestly, devastating in their own right. So bang for your buck, 4-track dub techno. This would be good if you just wanted to like set a vibe, or if you needed to kind of like I was talking about hypnotism earlier, like hypnotize the dance floor and just get them thinking like, what the hell is this record? This will create that feeling for you. So highly recommended. And finally, to close this out, Yagya. Yagya's back with a 4-track EP. Yagya never releases EPs. I think he's got 3 in his whole catalog, and I would say this one is the best. I mean, look at this cover art here. I absolutely love this. This almost looks like the cover for an electro record, but it's not electro by any means. This is some of Yagya's best, in my opinion. Now, I have mixed feelings about Yagya's back catalog. I initially bought the Snowflake or Snow album, whatever it's called, and there was one Snowflake on there that I really liked, but I decided not to hold on to it. I had Reining. I didn't really get into it, so I sold that. I was like, I think I'd rather have my money back. The Old Memories and Dreams, I really like that. There's a couple of killer tracks on there. And Stars and Dust on Delcine is probably my favorite Yagya album out of all of them. But this one here really takes the cake for the EPs, and I think I don't understand why when I look on Discogs people aren't talking about this yet. When I heard the track A1, as soon as it settled into its initial groove, I was just completely enamored with it. This is thunderous, it's smooth, it's enchanted. It's everything that you could want in a dub techno track. Like if I wanted to demo a dub techno track to somebody that's not familiar with the genre and try to get them sucked into it, this is what I would play. So the track is The Other Side of Despair. All 4 on here are good, but I think the A1 and the A2 take the cake. So while there are still copies for sale, don't sleep on this Yagya. That's all for today's episode, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. Agree, disagree. Feel free to chime in. I love dub techno, and feel free to make any recommendations for me. Thank you, and take care.